Adjustable rate mortgages. Too many victims, not enough ambulances. This post might upset some people, but that's not my goal. You see, my goal is to reflect on what a lack of common sense and personal responsibility is developing in our civilization and how you can benefit from it. You see, our society as a whole simply has too many victims and not enough ambulances. In this scenario, you, as a part of society, have two primary choices in most crisis situations, such as the foreclosure crisis. Number one, you can lie in the street bleeding and waiting for an ambulance to save you, like some type of government program which could show up. Or two, don't even play the bleeding victim in the street in the first place. Let me explain. Recently, I heard a guy with one of the fastest growing talk shows in America talk about how people were losing their homes due to what he referred to as, quote, no fault of their own. And after they lost their homes, their credit would be shot, and then getting a job was difficult because employers were now looking at their FICO scores and making employment decisions based upon the FICO score. To the talk show host, this was unjust and unfair, and something had to be done. I don't know about you, but in my personal philosophy, I have to laugh and disagree with that. Here's why. The world in which we live has rules. These rules, while we may not always like or agree with them, cannot be bent or broken, at least not in the vast majority of cases anyways. These are rules like you can't make someone truly love you, though some websites might lead you to believe otherwise. You can't change who your parents or siblings are. You can't change your past experiences or what has happened to you. You see, there are inherent risks in life we are forced to accept as a part of playing in the game of life. For example, being born has the inherent risk you could end up with cancer or some other terminal disease and be forced to accept it. Being in love comes with the inherent risk your lover may wake up one day, any day, and not be in love with you anymore. And again, you'll be forced to accept it. Now, there are many things we do in life with extreme risk which we don't even think about, like driving on two-lane roads where nothing but a 4-inch line of paint is keeping the other person from going into our lane and maiming or killing us. Eating food from sources like restaurants and other places which we know nothing about, which could be tainted and cause us to get sick or die, with maybe like E. coli. Engaging in other high-risk sports like mountain biking, motocross, or even skiing, which can lead to serious injuries. However, when it comes to the risk of taking on debt, like any type of debt, or more specifically a home mortgage, many people fail to take responsibility for the risk they are taking on, especially if the mortgage was an adjustable one. Think about this for a moment. Really think about this for a moment. What if everyone in the country, especially over the last 5-6 years, just said no to signing up for any adjustable rate mortgage? What if everyone only bought homes with 30-year fixed rate loans? What if all the homes purchased over the last 5, 6, 7 years, people only bought the 30-year fixed? What kind of shape do you think the housing market and the nation would be in today? After all, why would anyone buy using an adjustable rate mortgage unless they were willing to take the risk that goes with it, like taking on any amount of debt in one's life? After all, it's very clear your mortgage is going to adjust after the fixed term is fulfilled, whether that's 3, 4, 5, or 5 years. Why not just buy a smaller home one can actually afford on a 30-year fixed loan? In fact, it is a clear fact that if everyone had bought their home during the housing boom with a 30-year fixed mortgage, the country would not be in nearly the mess it's in today. Sure, many real estate industrialists may argue otherwise, and so will many consumers with nonsense like, I didn't realize what I was signing, they rushed me through the process and misled me. You see, I don't really roll with that, and I'll tell you why. Because many of us, when we were young, we went to parties and were in other situations in life, but when it came to the parties, many of us were offered rides home from drunk drivers, or even offered hardcore drugs at the party, but it was common sense and a little caution combined with responsibility, which made us say no in that situation. That is, if you did say no. And we all know what happened to many of the people who didn't say no. They learned a valuable lesson, and hopefully we learned one by watching them destroy their lives. So whenever we find ourselves in a scenario that we got ourselves into, even if it involves circumstances beyond our control, like a pine cone falling out of a tree and destroying your windshield in your car, like happened to me recently, we have two choices. Number one, lie in the street bleeding and wait for an ambulance to save us. Or two, don't play the bleeding victim in the street in the first place. If your FICO score is shot, then the sooner you start taking the steps to rebuild it, the sooner you will be in the position to benefit from the mistakes of yourself and the mistakes of others. If you want to learn the guaranteed ways to stop creditor harassment, deal with collections, late pays, and charge-offs, rebuild new positive accounts as fast as possible, then I strongly suggest you take the new Credit Repair Intelligence System for a risk-free 30-day test drive. You've got nothing to lose but bad credit. For more information, you can visit our site. Just go to creditrepairpublishing.com. There's also plenty of more free articles, videos, ebooks, and that sort of stuff there as well. Thanks for listening, and take care.